now we find ourselves.
In the news, Presidency rebukes Ortom's allegations. Panic rises in Madagascar as famine looms. South Korean president to visit the White House. AFDB imposes ban on Nigerian firm. And the Confederation Cup, a Yimba coach says team prepared beyond quarter-final stage. Details shortly. This is TOS Television, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Adesu Sui, and this is TOS News 360. The presidency has reprimanded Benue State Governor Dr. Samuel Ortom for committing a slander on his person over the recent killings, including that of the internally displaced persons, IDPs, in the state. According to a statement from the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, all accusations on the president being deceitful were denied. The senior assistant further stated that the president has expressed disappointment on the governor for accusing his person and administration over the recent happenings in the state. The statement also stated that the president is unhappy with the violence in the state and country and will ensure all the offenders will be arrested and brought to justice. In line with approved minimum wage in 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari has permitted the consequential adjustment to pensioners under the Defined Benefit Scheme (DBS). This was revealed by the Executive Secretary Pension Transitional Arrangements Directorate (PTAD) Chioma Ejikeme at a news conference in Abuja on Friday. According to Mrs. Chioma, the new modification of the pensioners' payment will cover all the arrears payment and also cover the period of the minimum wage being implemented. She further stated the implementation of the consequential adjustment on the pension benefits will be effective from May 2021. The federal government, through the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, has said it will begin the inauguration of digital switchover (DSO) in 13 states before the year runs out. The minister revealed this during the inauguration of DSO transition from analog to digital terrestrial television in Lagos State. He assured that the process, which has been delayed for 3 years, will be rapidly effective across the country. The inauguration in Lagos State marks the introduction of the second phase of the DSO rollout after its inauguration in Plateau, Kwara, Kaduna, Enugu, Osun, and the FCT. Niger communities have negotiated and also signed a peace deal with Boko Haram insurgents to avoid future attacks few days after Governor Sani Bello confirmed that the insurgents have hoisted their flags in some Niger communities. According to reports, Gurmana, Manta, Bassa, and Kukoki districts in the Shiroro area of the state had negotiated with the terrorists for a peace deal after reaching an agreement to pay a certain amount of money. In the words of Yusuf Sani, the co-convener of concerned Shiroro youth communities had paid not less than 20 million naira to sign the peace deal with the terrorists. He also said the communities had brought at least 6 motorcycles with 500,000 naira for the terrorists. Following the recent attacks in South Sudan, the UN Humanitarian Agency on Thursday condemned the attacks by youth groups on relief workers. According to the Eileen Ndoho, UN humanitarian coordinator in South Sudan, workers from a non-governmental organization were physically abused in eastern Equatoria in the southern part of the country. He further urged authorities and the government to enforce law against the offenders and provide adequate security to the workers. The UN has also said some workers had relocated to safer areas and all humanitarian activities were suspended. A journalist working for the state broadcaster has been shot dead in a confrontation with security forces in Uganda. According to reports, journalist Robert Kagolo was killed at his late brother's home under the protection of the local defense unit LDU personnel. 2 officers of the LDU were arrested over the attack. Reports also showed Mr. Kagolo confronted the officers after he suspected he was being followed. This is your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television, and you're watching TOS News 360. Stories on business, entertainment, and sports. When we return, do stay tuned. Welcome back. Still in Africa, Kenya's Interior Minister has said it will close 2 refugee camps hosting more than 400,000 people by June 30th, 2022. The announcement on Thursday followed a meeting between Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta and UN High Commissioner for Refugees Filippo Grandi on issues surrounding refugees and asylum seekers in the region, as well as the status of Kakuma and Dadaab refugee camps. Most of the 433,765 refugees and asylum seekers living at the settlement are from Somalia and South Sudan. The meeting comes in the wake of the government's communicated intention to work towards the closure of the refugee camps in Kenya. A joint team comprising officials from the government and the UN agency will therefore be formed to finalize and implement a roadmap on the next steps towards a humane management of refugees in both camps, according to a joint statement by the Kenyan government and UN agency. The roadmap includes voluntary return for refugees in safety and dignity, departures to third countries under various arrangements, and alternative stay options in Kenya for certain refugees from East African community countries. The UN World Food Programme has reported that thousands of people in Madagascar are in threat of famine, with over 80% in different areas, resulting to harsh survival means. According to the WFP, children are at risk of dying as most cities and towns in southern part of the country have been affected. The WFP is seeking resources to help feed the population affected, as the country's food production is below 40% this year, which is below the normal average in the past 5 years. Away from Africa, the White House on Thursday said the South Korean President Moon Jae is set to visit the White House on May 21st for discussion with U.S. President Joe Biden on the importance of ironclad alliance between the two countries. According to the statement, President Joe Biden looks forward to the visit and to further strengthen the relationship between both countries. The visit will mark the second foreign leader to visit Biden's presidency since it began in January 20. The two summits have been with Asian allies, the first being with Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga. Israeli medical officials said a stampede at a religious festival attended by thousands of Jews in northern Israel killed at least 44 people and injured about 150 others early Friday. The stampede happened during the celebration of Lag BaOmer at Mount Meron. The stampede happened after midnight and its cause was not immediately known. According to witnesses, the stampede started when large numbers of people who tried to exit the site passed through a narrow tunnel-like passage. People began falling on top of each other near the end of the walkway as they came down from sleepy metal stairs. Israel's military dispatched medical teams and an elite rescue unit to assist with evacuating casualties and providing treatment. The emergency medical service said it had evacuated 103 injured people to local hospitals, including more than 20 in severe condition. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the incident a great tragedy and said everyone was praying for the victims. The incident was described as one of the country's deadliest civilian disasters. A landslide in Chinese-backed power plant on Indonesia's Sumatra Island has resulted in the death of 3 persons, with 2 children inclusive and several others still missing. According to authorities, workers at the Batang Toru hydropower facility are among the missing persons as they were buried beneath a mountain of mud from the landslide. The disaster agency in Indonesia reported nearly half the country's population were at risk of landslides as a result of deforestation and poor mitigation planning. Captain Ibrahim Mshelia, a charter operator and chairman of Westlink Airline, has alleged that private jet owners in the aviation industry are engaged in commercial operations. He noted that it is contrary to the regulations for which they were granted certification and operating licenses. Mshelia called for probe to such operations by the Department of State Service, DSS, as he said the government should be worried that it is losing revenues. This is TOS Television, your digital first Pan-African news network, and you're still watching TOS News 360. More stories on business, entertainment, and sports when we return. Do stay tuned. Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has sacked the board of directors of First Bank and its subsidiary over the removal of Dr. Adeshola Adedutan as the managing director of the bank. The Apex Bank said the decision had a negative implication on the country's financial market. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele pointed that records had to be made straight as he opposed the decision of the First Bank Nigeria board. The African Development Bank Group on Wednesday have announced a 36-month ban on Mexicare Company Nigeria Limited. In a statement titled, African Development Bank debars Mexicare Company Nigeria Limited for 36 months for collusive and fraudulent practices. It said it took effect from 23 February 2021 as the debarment renders Mexicare Company Nigeria Limited and its affiliate ineligible to participate in bank group finance projects during the debarment period. Burna Boy has confirmed that he's set to release a follow-up to his Grammy-winning album Twice as Tall. He made this known in an interview. The 2021 Grammy Award winner affirmed that he's definitely planning to drop his next album this year, I beg your pardon. This will be exactly the same time he dropped the last one. In his words, I'm trying to do that as long as I can. This development came after a fan asked him on his Twitter handle if he was going to drop an album. The music star replied positively and noted that it will be the same time as last year's hit. Organizers of fan-favorite reality television show Big Brother Naija have announced the commencement of open auditions ahead of the 6th season. The new audition is set for May 3rd to May 16th, which is exclusive to Nigerians above the age of 21 and will be virtual in line with COVID-19 safety measures. Participants of the initially announced early auditions have been advised not to participate in the new auditions, according to the organizers who came out to make the information known to the applicants. Recall that the show's organizers announced early auditions in March, alongside the official price for the new season confirmed to be 90 million naira. A Yimba coach Fatai Osho says the Yimba team are fully prepared, ready for the knockout stage of the CAF Confederation Cup and hopes to better their performance last season when they reached the quarter-final stage. The team's Cyril Olisema scored a 95th-minute goal for the People's Elephant to secure a 1-0 victory over South Africa's Orlando Pirates at the Yimba International Stadium, Aba, on Wednesday night. The defeat took the Yimba team to the quarter-final stage of the competition as group leaders with 9 points. The Nigeria Olympic Committee (NOC) has congratulated teenage table tennis star Musa Mustafa, who was recently ranked world #1 in the boys under-11 category by the International Table Tennis Federation (ITTF). In a release statement signed by the Secretary General of NOC, Olabanji Oladapo, board members of the NOC applauded the president, members and staff of the Nigeria Table Tennis Federation for Mustafa's achievement at the world stage. Mustafa made his senior debut at the 2018 Nigeria Open in Lagos and was part of the Nigeria team that won the 2019 ITTF Junior Circuit in Ghana. And that is TOS News 360 on your digital first Pan-African news network. For more updates, visit www.tostvnetwork.com. Also follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and remember to subscribe on YouTube. Do stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS Television Network. My name is Adesuwa Osui. Thank you for watching.
But we as a